This is the Cinebloom diffusion filter by Moment. In a world where digital sharpening is just all too prominent, this changes everything. If you're on the edge of picking this filter up, just take a look at a few of these shots and, I don't know, might change your mind. The look that this filter achieves is truly 1,000 times better than what you could ever do with any post-processing. This isn't the first diffusion filter out there, but I do think it is the best. And that's what I'm going to explain in this video. What's up, guys? I'm kind of all over the place here today. My room is an absolute mess. That's because I am in the middle of moving. So yeah, real quick, thanks again, guys, everybody who watched the Phantom Lutz video. There was a ton of really great support. So thank you guys for watching that video if you did. Also, real quick, I'm not shooting on the regular 24-70 that I have. I am trying out this vintage lens I have. It's an old Minolta 50mm f1.7. So let me know how it looks. I'm not entirely sure if you guys like the look. It's kind of hard to set focus because it's all manual. So I kind of have to have somebody sit here so I can just focus on them, and then I can sit here. So it's a little difficult to get used to because I'm used to having that eye autofocus with Sony now. And not having that is kind of rough. All right, so as you guys can obviously tell in the intro, we're talking about the Moment Cinebloom filters and why I think you guys should buy this rather than the Tiffin Pro Mist or the Prism Lens Effects filters that do the same thing. So first off, let's just talk about what this filter even is and what it does. So this is called a diffusion filter, okay? So it basically has a ton of like little specks of dust that diffuse the light hitting the sensor, which is really great because digital sensors tend to be really sharp, especially if you pair them with a very sharp lens. This really helps to soften the image, giving you more of that vintage old film look that a lot of people are really after these days. So this does soften the image and really softens the skin. It can make it look really nice. But most notably, the reason why most people get this filter is because of the bloom or halation effect that you get with this. And you really only notice it in super high contrast scenes. Say like this for an example, you guys can see all of the bloom around these people here. Take my friend Grant here for an example. You can see the bloom around his head and around the trees in the background there. It's an overall very pleasing look, and it really takes you back to the old film look. If you pair this with some film grain, it looks really nice. When you have kind of a low contrast scene and you add the bloom filter on, it just makes the image very flat and kind of super low contrasty look. It's definitely not for every situation. It's a very stylized look. So it's really great to have the option to have that look when you want it. But again, it's not for every single shot. Okay, so Moment used to offer 2 variations of this filter. Now they offer 3. So here we have the 20%. They also have a 10% and newly added a 5% diffusion rate. So the 20% is going to give you the most diffusion, the most bloom in the highlights. And then say something like the 5%, it's going to be a lot less noticeable. It's going to be more of like a conservative look. It's not going to be so in your face. So when you have super high contrasty scenes, switching down to one of those lower percentage filters is going to be really nice because you're not going to have that insane amount of bloom that you're going to get with this. Okay, but again, 20% can definitely be too much in certain situations. Specifically those really high contrasty scenes. Say you have your subject in front of a window, it's going to be really bloomy, and that's when I would switch down from a 20% to a 5 or maybe a 10%. So again, the main reason that people pick this up for the most part is because it can really help you recreate that old film look. With that halation that it provides, it really gives that effect that it was shot on 35mm film. Putting this filter on, you immediately notice that you have a lowered contrast. If I pull it out here, you'll see that if I put it in front of me, you'll see the contrast is just immediately lowered on me. I would definitely pick up a 20% when you're in those mediocre contrast scenes. Like say you're outside in broad daylight, this is really nice to have. Like take this shot for an example. It was an overcast day. It's more of like a flat image. It's not super contrasty. You still get that really nice halation in the highlights. So immediately upon applying this filter, you'll notice that the shadows are immediately lifted a bit. It's just all around a flatter image. And that's the kind of look that you want with this filter. It gives you that low contrast look. So let's talk about the build quality of the filter. It's all metal. It's really, really nice. The only slight issue I have with it, I feel like the threading is kinda cheap and sketchy. I feel like it would strip pretty easily if I put it on the wrong way. So that's just something to be mindful of. But other than that, it's perfect. This glass has come in contact with a few different things and there's no scratches on it at all. It's really high quality and I think it's really great. So when you have this filter compared to the Tiffin Black or the Prism Lens Effects filter, I think this one is the best out of all three of them, simply because of the price point. When you compare it to the Tiffin Black filters, you're looking at $90 plus for an individual filter. This filter starts at $49.99, and that's for the smallest thread, which is 37 millimeter. It goes all the way up to 82 millimeters, and at that point, you're looking at $79. But still, all around, this is an amazing package. Let's talk about the case that it comes in. It's super nice. It's made out of plastic. It does tend to scratch on the front, but that's no big deal. It comes with this circular little cloth that you can clean the lens with. Personally, I don't use this just because it feels kind of cheap and weird. It feels like one of those really cheap microfiber cloths, if that makes any sense. It's still nice that they include it. It opens up and you have this perfect notch that the filter fits in. It's all around just a really good build quality. If you have any of the K&F concept filters, the build quality of the cases are a ton cheaper than what you get with the Moment filter cases. It just started raining outside. Perfect time to make coffee. So let's go out and shoot a small sequence with and without the filter, and we'll compare it and see how it looks. All right, so we're back. I wasn't able to record in like a super high contrast scene because it's super cloudy out right now and it just started raining. Also, I'm back on my 24-70. It's crazy on that massive 24-70 and then going to this tiny little 50 mil. It's so nice carrying around such a light camera with this thing. But again, all manual focus, so it's not super practical. Let me know what you guys like. Do you like this lens or do you like how that one looks? All right, so if you look here, you can see how when I apply the filter, you get that really nice halation around the light. Now, if you guys think this is too much, that's totally okay. That's why they have those other versions, the 5 and 10% now. So if you guys are thinking that 20% is gonna be a little too much for you, I would say totally play it safe and just get a 10%. And if you guys aren't happy with that, you can always return it and get a 5%. I'm actually gonna put the filter on now and see how it looks. So 3, 2, 1, I'm gonna do the snap thing because that's what all YouTubers do. So you guys see that we have now a really soft image. The shadows have immediately been lifted, so we have a lot less of a contrasty scene here now. Again, I personally like this look. You might not, it's not for everybody. So Moment has a ton of different filter sizes that they support with this. I'll list them here. I don't know. And they all have the 5, 10, and 20% diffusion. So if you guys are thinking about picking these up, I highly recommend doing it. And let me know what you guys think. If you guys really like how they turn out, let me know. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. All right, thanks guys for watching this super short video. The next video you guys see me in is probably gonna be very different scenery. I would give you a tour of my room to see what it looks like, but it is garbage right now. So let's not do that. All right guys, thanks again for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna get coffee. But not before you like the video. Just kidding, don't do it. Do not like this video. You don't have the guts.